Oh. Good afternoon. Are we on here? Good afternoon. If I can ask you to take your seats, we'll get started in a couple of minutes. Thank you. Please take your seats. Good afternoon. Welcome and thank you for joining us today as we celebrate the opening of our 150th anniversary season. It is only appropriate that we gather here at the Argonaut Rowing Club with some feedback in the background. That was me. Thank you. It's only appropriate that we do gather here at the Argonaut Rowing Club. This is where everything began for the football club. In 1873, 1 year after the formation of a rowing club that has produced many champions, much like our football team has. First of all, I'd like to thank Larry Tenbaum and Dale Lastman from the MLSE Board of Directors for being here today. Thank you. Today we will hear from Argo President Bill Manning, General Manager and Hall of Fame player Michael Clemens, and Stacey Corey, the President of the Argo Alumni Association, who will be making a very special announcement. But first, it is only part that we are chronologically accurate here today, and we hear from our rowing kin before we talk football. Please welcome the President of the Argonaut Rowing Club Board of Directors, Mr. Jason Van Ravensway.
Thank you very much. So welcome to our Argo friends, our players, our alumni, and all of these great individuals that have led this team to success. We're very excited to have you here, and we're proud for the shared history of our organizations. We're excited to welcome back our brothers and sisters, the Toronto Argonauts. This is the club that it started at 150 years ago. We share a rich history of sport success in this great city. We share values of promoting sport in our community, engaging youth, and creating opportunities for healthy competition. We are honored to have you here today to celebrate your history and your 150th. We want to congratulate the Argonaut Football Club for 150 years of history, success, and being the longest standing football club in the world, and holding the record for the most Grey Cups won. So congratulations. I'm looking forward to you beating the Ticats tomorrow. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you to everybody here for opening your doors to us. It's great to be pulling together once again. Our first speaker from the football Argonauts is Bill Manning. Bill became president of the Argos when MLSE purchased the club in 2018 and led the franchise to its 18th Grey Cup last season. Bill Manning.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jason, for having us here today. You stole a number of my comments, so as I read off, I may copy what Jason said. The history of your club is all over the walls. I had a chance to look around the lobby, and it's really amazing. And our two organizations are so intertwined to this day. And so it's an honor to celebrate the 150th anniversary here today with you, or to announce. Thank you very much. I want to thank all the alumni in attendance today, and we have a number of longtime season ticket holders that are here as well today. So I want to thank you for coming. I want to recognize our chairman and our governor, Larry Tannenbaum and Dale Lastman, for joining us today and for their generous stewardship of this team. The Argos have meant so much to this city over the years. The CFL has meant so much to Canada all these years. And this anniversary season is such a great opportunity to celebrate 150 years of Argos football with all the people who helped create so many memories. As the story goes, the Toronto Argonauts began here with the Argonauts Rowing Club in 1873, 150 years ago. There is some debate with the guys down the road in Hamilton about the origins of the oldest team, but we are the oldest existing professional team in North America, still using its existing name. What is not up to date, and not up for debate, and Jason mentioned it, we're the most successful team in CFL history. 18 Grey Cups. And I was going to ask you to save the applause for the last Grey Cup, which we just won this past November, and such an exciting game, 24-23 in Regina over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So the 2023 season is a perfect opportunity for us to celebrate, and it's even more special as the defending Grey Cup champs. Our home opener, June 18th, we will raise another championship banner, our 18th, and we will also give out to the first 10,000 people who arrive a replica Grey Cup ring. Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. The excitement will continue each home game this season as we welcome back alumni from different eras. We celebrate their careers. We count down towards the actual anniversary, which occurred in October of 1873. We'll have an event on October 4th and then the special game on October 6th. Throughout the season, we're going to count down the top 150 moments in franchise history. And we had a historical subcommittee, and I'd like to name them, made up of 5 Argos historians. My friend Paul Woods, if he's in the room here, James Frazier, Don Landry, our own Danny Webb, and I like to call him Argos Walking Encyclopedia Mike Hogan. So those 5 came up with the top 150 moments in franchise history. It should be an incredible reminder of our franchise's great history for fans young and old. We also, we take a huge priority in giving back to the community. And in honor of the 150th anniversary, we wanted to do something special. So the Argonauts have teamed up with MLSE Foundation, and we're going to donate $150,000 this year, $75,000 of which will go to the Daily Bread Food Bank, and then another $75,000 we're going to put into football in this community for the development of football, and we're going to announce a partnership in the ensuing weeks later this season on that special announcement. So. Thank you. And so a huge part of this anniversary is the celebration of the many men who wore double blue throughout the years and the championships that they won. I'm grateful, and we are grateful to the Argos Alumni Association for the many alumni, and also the many alumni who are here today. I do want to recognize Stacy Corey as the president, Dan Ferroni, the vice president, Bob Bronk, who is a secretary of the Alumni Association, and the special announcement you're going to make shortly of the all-time Argos honorees. Before we turn it over to Stacy, I'd like to thank all the Argos fans again who came out today. You're in many ways what this team is all about. The anniversary celebration is again about the team on the field, but the fans are why the team plays. So we look forward to a great season together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. As you can imagine, over 150 years, we have been blessed in this organization with some spectacular players, some of the best in the history of the sport. Literally thousands of players have suited up in the Oxford and Cambridge blue over the years. but only 24 of those players have been honored as all-time Argos. That's about to change right now. Please welcome to the stage the president of the Argonauts Alumni Association, Mr. Stacey Corey.
Thanks, everybody. It's great to be here. And thank you, Mr. Tanema, Mr. Lasser, for being here. Bill, great words. And thanks to everybody for being here, and especially Kevin for helping us, getting us together down here and coming back together, which I think is where we all started. So this is terrific. So on behalf of on behalf of the Toronto Argonauts Association, and again, where it all started from is right here. And for all the folks that have I'm just giggling because some of the guys were coming in talking about the traffic. Doyle missed the place. He had to go around in a corner. He thought he was going to be late. So I want to really take a special moment here to say we really appreciate the folks who came out, took the time to come down and celebrate this with us. We really appreciate that. So, and now, all-time Argo. Before we get to the best part of this in the announcements, I wanted to first give credit and knowledge to Pete Martin, who's not here today. He's at home. He's not feeling very well. Charlie Camilleri. Charlie Camilleri played with the teams in the 40s. I think Charlie won 4 or 5 Grey Cups with Joe Crolla knows that team. And also Nick Volpe. Nick Volpe, I think a lot of folks will know Nick, but Nick was a very big part of what we're going to be doing very shortly. And Bob Nicholson. He was Bill's former counterpart as the president of the Toronto Argonauts. And Bill was the one who supported what we're doing today and got us started, actually wrote the check to give us a little bit of seed money to get it going. So I want to make sure that, I wanted to acknowledge them first, because those are the gentlemen who came up with the idea of recognizing that we, the players, consider the best of the best, the greatest of the greatest, the all-time Argo. As a result, the association decided to pay tribute to and honor these former Argos that most impacted the club over the years. That was a tough chore, as there's so many that we had to look at. And more importantly, we, the players and the coaches, were to choose the player. That was the difference between what you're going to see in the different walls of fames and different inductees. It was the players, the guys who played with the guys. We wanted to decide, because that was more meaningful to us. And I'm going to talk about the 2 players in a very short moment, but after speaking with them last week, that's exactly what they told me when they knew that they were going up. That's the first words that came out of their mouth. What a very special thing to know that the guys that I used to play with and watch me have chosen me to be the best. That's what it was all about. So that really cements what we were trying to do. So, and of course, it's some of the players that we played with, and some of them we watched. 2 of them are here in the room right now, Dan Ferroni and Michael. 2 of them are right here. So, which is terrific to know. So, each season, the members of the association are honored to play part of recognized who have donned that double blue in that long period of history. So today, and Michael mentioned there's 24, there's going to be 26 at the end of the day today. So this all-time induction, it's a 2-stage process that we came up with. And first, using the criteria that we developed, Charlie Camilleri came along with it. It took months to go over what that would look like. We had a big kind of a debate. We were arguing a lot about what was the criteria. And it was very solid, and we keep that criteria all the way through. And that respects who's up there already. We want to make sure that is honored. This is not a popularity contest. So we had to leave our egos, everything outside the door, and come in and make a real hard, practical decision of who's the greatest, who's the best Argo of all time. And as I mentioned, after today, there's going to be 26. So that was the first thing to do. So we came up with an initial possible candidate list. That list was maybe 24, 30 players. And then we looked at that, and then we crunched it down to a meaningful number, maybe 10 or 12. That was the list that we called the final nomination list. That's the list that went out to the membership. They would vote on it. Rob Malik is here today, would tally it up for us. And when we got that information back, voila, we had our all-time Argo. So, and we've been very fortunate that the alumni, the media, the alumni, the membership has embraced this wholeheartedly. And they've given us an incredible list of players who have contributed, and still their time on the field and off the field still resonates and reverberates in the team history. So to give you an idea how this worked out this year, because of COVID, we were not involved, and we're out, and everybody knows we're at home looking out the window, hoping to try to get outside and do some things. So once we got back, Bill Manning and Chris Schufeld were very helpful, very helpful to help us out with our annual alumni reunion that we have yearly. And we gather all the guys together, get together and have some fun and talk and share stories and just connect. And we thought that was going to be a perfect opportunity this year to have that nomination, that voting take place, which it did a month ago today. And the results of that resulted in the two. We said we were going to do two players simply because we needed to come back from 2018, and we wanted to make sure that we had two players going up. So that's what we did. So, and this year is no different. So that's the case. So without any further ado, it is now my great honor and pleasure to announce the newest additions to the list of all-time Argos, Damon Allen and Derek Mitchell.
All right.
So as I mentioned earlier, when I talked to DA last week, he was in California. He wanted to come up. He's not going to be back till June, so he wanted to send his wishes out to everybody. But when I asked, and then I said, DA, you're going in. And he said, there's going to be two. He said, who am I going in with? And I said, Mook Mitch. Oh, man, that's special. That's sweet. Then I called Mook Mitch. And I said, Mook, going in. There's two of you going in. Who else? Who am I going in with? Damon. Ah, that's sweet. So it was wonderful because they played together. Some of the stats that they share, like Damon's whistling the ball through the air and Mitch is catching it. So it's very special that the two of them are going in together, and they really understood that the players picked them. So it was really, really meaningful for them. I can go forward here and read a whole bunch of stats. I'm not gonna. Michael said maybe I can read the bio, but I'm not going to do that. So on behalf of the Toronto Argonaut Alumni Association and in partnership with the Toronto Argonauts Football Club, without them, we're not going to be able to get this off. I'm proud to recognize these two great players, not only for their fabulous on-field talent, but also what they've done in the community. And so thank you very much.
Thank you, Stacy. So on July 3rd, that will be the game where the all-time Argos will be honored and their names will join those on the banner already. It's a Sunday night game against the BC Lions. Our next speaker is one of those 24 athletes, soon to be 26, who have already been honored as an all-time Argo. I would read his list of accomplishments, but you all know it would take too long. So for brevity, allow me to introduce a member of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, an all-time Argo, and our current general manager, Mr. Michael Clemens.
I know this is a little bit unorthodox, but that's who I am. So when I say what, you say, woo, what? 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 Mr. Tannenbaum, that was for you. Yes, all right. I do want to say that we are so proud to be a part of this organization, the quality of this organization, and 150 years. Like, to be around 150 years, you're going to make some mistakes, but you have to do a lot of things right in order to be around for that length of time. And so we're so proud today, and if I could measure, I would say that it's both a pleasure and a treasure. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense as we get to the end of this, but I am absolutely honored to be hosted by the Argonaut Rowing Club. Big round of applause. And now, while the CFL rivals other sports in an impressive list of athletes, I do want to say that that is, I don't think, the biggest impact that we've had. Prime Minister Diefenbaker said it like this. He says that the Grey Cup is Canada's greatest unifying force. Now listen, times have changed since then, and our population has grown bigger and better, but there is one thing that cannot be denied, and that is our work in community. If you want to show me a truly great person, don't tell me about records or awards, money or power. If you want to show me a truly great person, show me what that person has done for someone else. And if you measure the thousands and thousands of impressions in community that the Canadian Football League has made, that's its most important impact. The venerable Vince Lombardi suggested that when a football player goes to ply his trade, he's got to play from the soles of his feet right up to his head. He says, now, some players play with their head, and that's a good thing because you have to be smart to be successful in any business. He says, but more importantly, you have to play with your heart, with every fiber of your body. He says, now, if you're ever lucky enough to find a player with a great head and a great heart, he'll never come off the field in second place. We've had so many great champions of our game, and when I think about being involved in this league for so long and for so many years, I've come to understand that the best way to honor the past is the promise of a future. And consistent with that, I like to make a little footnote. There was a gentleman who ran the Junior Argos who passed away just over a week ago. But it is that commitment in community, right? It is the grassroots, the hundreds and thousands even of coaches and others who apply time. This part is what I admire most. And so the best way to honor the past is a promise of the future. And football is growing here. We often talk about, oh, football is kind of, no, it's actually rebounding. It's starting to go the other way. And football is one of those games that embraces everybody, right? So you know, many years ago, decades ago, and so we did the football thing, it was, it was all guys, right? But the girls at least were cheerleaders. There was a part for everybody. There's a part for little guys like me and big guys like him, right? There's a place for everyone in our game. And that is what we relish. I think that's one of the defining parts of who we are, is that there is a place for everyone in our game. And as I conclude here, because I don't want to be too long, because I've done that before. I just want to say that as we look at our game, it's become so inclusive. Yes, we include the big guy and the small guy, but now ladies are playing. As a matter of fact, flag football is going to be in the next Olympics, both men and women, right? Not only that, we really never saw a woman unless they came from the front office in a marketing or appearance, but we have two ladies that are on our therapy staff, 2 of 4, 50%. One of the two strength and conditioning coaches on our team is also a woman, right? And so consistent with that, our game is becoming so much more inclusive. You know, the measure really is the impact in community. the treasure is the unlimited ways that the players of our game, the coaches of our game have given back. But the real pleasure is the inclusiveness, who we are. Football is for everyone. Thank you.
As you all know, it is always a bad thing to follow Michael Clemens as a speaker. So this brings to a conclusion our list of speakers for the evening. I mean, a John Diefenbaker reference, nicely done. So I invite questions now from the media. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll acknowledge you, and if you can give your affiliation before your question, that would be great. Yes. Oh.
Dan Grossi? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
No questions? Okay, Frank?
Well,
You want to take it?
I'll go, yes. Yes. When the boss asks, do you want to take it? Yes, it's me. It's mine. The best, I guess, when we look at last year and what took place last year, it has been a building process, but it wasn't a building process of just last year. It built on the year before, a year where we took first place, but didn't win in the Eastern Final. So this is a growth pattern, yes, and if what you did yesterday still sounds good to you today, then you haven't done much today. Now, what has happened with the pandemic is that you're in a position where you receive, right? You take the calls inbound, right? Now, as we are, I think it gives us a great opportunity to be more outward facing, to reach out to community. And so we are very vested in the growth of football in high school, and we're part of helping out in terms of bringing football back to high schools in the GTA. As well, we have other hopes of being able to get out to schools and reach out and that kind of thing. The young fan is the most vital fan for us, and so we have to have young people in a place where they embrace us and they enjoy the game, and that really is about older people bringing their kids to the game. So you let your neighbors know that hey, come on over, there's a place for you. There's a place for everyone in our game. Yes, sir. Okay, very good.
That's
very
great.
good.
Thanks. Thank you, Frank.
Yes.
Anybody? Is that it?
You need someone to drive the bus? All right, very good. All right. No.
Okay.
okay.
Go ahead, Dave.
I, like 8 other GMs, feel great about my team right now. Right? We are undefeated, baby. Yeah, unscored on. Yes. So we are very excited about the prospects. We have a new quarterback, a young quarterback, one who comes with a lot of folklore. Yes, and one who actually got a chance to get his feet wet in the Grey Cup, and so he scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. And so all we're asking him is to actually score 10 points a quarter, and he'll be just fine. Yes.
Okay. Thank you all for coming. Our first home game is June the 18th. Our hated rivals from Hamilton are coming down the QEW to visit us at BMO Field, and they get to watch us unveil the Grey Cup banner. So we hope you are there as well. If we can have our panelists assemble for a photo op, and if you need one-on-ones, you're welcome to do so. Once again, please, thank you for coming, and please, we hope to see you at BMO Field this year. Thank you.